opinion on the boundary between a CISO and a DPO? How should organization should work together to ensure a proper DPDP? Who would like to start?
I can take.
Yeah.
The data protection board within 72 hours, right? If they're not, then they'll be penalties will be applied on them. They are supposed to notify the impacted consumers as soon as they are aware, right? So they won't. I don't know how long they waited before the news got out, but they would have to do it proactively, right? So that's one change that will happen.
It's the onus is on the organization.
Yeah. Because code doesn't work.
Yeah.
No, yes. We are not even, right now, the point of view is that we are not even talking about code. We are talking about the organization, the board, and the organization being the person, as Sandeep rightly said.
And the other thing which will happen is, let's say the board will initiate some inquiries as to what happened, and one of the aspects of the law is that the reasonable security safeguards have been implemented by Big Basket, right? And if they've not done, then there again penalties may be applied. So that's the change.
Okay, thank you.
Department, yeah. Around I think 15% is with falls under cybersecurity. Another maybe 10% will get into data governance, risk and compliance, right? So organizations are taking varied approaches. If there are organizations in India where the CISO is also doubling up as a DPO, right? So organizations are taking different approaches, and organizations should take whatever makes sense for them, right? I mean, to their special context that they have. However, having said that, a couple of things are non-negotiables. One is having a leadership, someone from the CXO group really owning data privacy. They may call themselves the chief privacy officer or whatever, but someone from the C-suite kind of owning the program, because unless they push it, it's not going to happen as quickly. There has to be a steering committee or a governance council in place to run this program, and it should have representation from all key teams, like especially the key ones are legal, sales, marketing, analytics, cybersecurity, the CIO teams, the business themselves, right? So it has to have representation from all. Else, again, as I said, it's not going to succeed. If you step one level below, there has to be a working group, and it should have functional representatives from each team. You may call them the privacy champions or ambassadors. That needs to be there. There has to be a small
is now notified. As of 13th November, the law has been notified, and now you can raise up complaints against Big Basket. You can raise up complaints to the board once it's formulated. So the change that has happened is that from a privacy perspective, we have now got a law that will enable us to hit back at organizations who do not follow the mandates of law. The government also is coming up with ways and with rules in the IT Act, in the current IT Act also, wherein it will take care of certain of these aspects. So the law, you have to give time to law. Unlike technology goes very fast. Law takes its time, but when it does it well.
Can I make one point?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Germany, we need to fill in a form.
has to be that every organization has to understand first where and what the data is, and going forward from there, you have to assess where exactly is the data flowing, how the data is moving, what are the measures that are taken to protect that information, that data, and then going forward, building up a privacy world or a privacy system in organizations so that you are able to protect the consumer data or whatever data that you are collecting. That's going to be the roadmap. Now you have to dial it back from May 13, 2027 to now. this is the time period that you have for implementation. So the time has already started running, and that's where I think the challenge will lie for organizations, how best they can do it at the speed that is required.
Are companies and governments ready to,
Yeah, I would like
ready for
to
the
say.
compliance?
So railways, as you know, that this is one of the biggest organizations what we are having it, and we have enormous amount of privacy data that we are having. For example, that passenger reservation systems and unreserved ticketing systems and vendor details also, and rail madad. So many people are accessing rail madad. All these informations are there. It will be quite challenging to implement within the next about 18 months or so.
Exactly.
For implementing it, because it's a huge organization, and so many tiers are there, like railway board at zonal levels and as well as in the divisional level. So what I feel is that there are a lot of sensitivity has to be built up at the various levels who are involved in this particular privacy data, and there is as I see that there is a stringent penalties also.
Yeah,
Yes.
200 to 250.
200, and now the people are talking about even the penal charges also in case if there is a breach of. So this is a very quite challenging thing, and I think we'll be able to implement it if we take it in a right sense and with seriousness. I think
absolutely.
railways will be able to.
As
I
we
think I
discussed,
understand that
there's an organization called FDPPI where we are working on lots of privacy and security related topics. Quite interesting to be here today. A fruitful day, I would say. The first half met lots of people and the CyberX, right? Security.
CyberSec.
CISO of Indian Railways, that is representing us Southwestern Railway, and this is a very good opportunity that we are able to interact with so much of the people who are involved in this implementation of the DPDR, and I think it's wonderful, and it sensitizes the government officials also for implementation of these privacy laws and other things. It's a very good opportunity.
Privacy laws are here to stay, and the point is that as organizations, as people, we have to be sensitive towards it, and we have to sensitize others as well, and that's what this expo has brought in.
Yes.